Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. It was a cold night again last night. The plant room was 10 degrees Celsius when I got up this morning, and that's too cool. I'd like to keep it at least 12 degrees Celsius and maybe even 15 as a minimum. So I've got to do some more insulating. I've got to keep the room warmer. My only heat source in the room is an oil-filled radiator-style heater that's underneath the bench. Behind that, I have a fan that blows air across the radiator and circulates it around the room. So it keeps most of the room at a fairly even temperature. But at the moment, it's quite cool. The last winter was the first test of the new plant room to see how cold it got in winter, and it did quite well. But we had a very mild winter. The lowest it got down to was minus 18 degrees Celsius. This next Tuesday, there's a possibility of minus 22 degrees Celsius. So it's 4 degrees cooler, which makes a big difference. So I'm going to insulate the room a little better, starting with the doors. Here's the door that leads to the plant room, and beyond that is a cold porch. It's not heated at all. And last night I noticed some water in the cold porch froze over, so it's very cold just outside that door. This door isn't sealed up very well. There's all kinds of gaps around the framing. So I'm just going to put some of that silver foil, mylar foil, around all the gaps to try and seal it in a little better to keep the cold out in the porch and keep the warmth in the plant room. I'm in the cold porch now. You can see the door to the plant room there. And I've got to seal up this door too. There's all kinds of gaps around it. I don't use this door in winter, so I'm just going to staple some foil all the way around all the gaps in the door. Hopefully keep it a little warmer out here in the porch. My plan is to put up a sheet of plastic on the outside of the door here, and that'll provide kind of a bit of a dead space and stop the wind blowing through the cracks in the door. So I'm going to measure it up, cut a sheet of plastic, and then affix it to the wall somehow, either staples or strapping or something. So here I go. All right, about 8 feet by 3 feet 6 inches will work. I'm going to cut the plastic here in the greenhouse. It's a lot warmer. It's up to 10 degrees today because the sun is shining. It's about minus 12 degrees outside right now. So I need 8 feet. And this is doubled up here. The seam is at the top there, so let me see what that is. Yeah, that gives me about 8 feet. So I just need to cut a strip 3 feet 6 inches wide. So let's do that. Let's roll it out. Go 3 feet. And I'm working in inches because that's what my tape measures in. Normally I'd use centimeters. So I need 3 feet 6 inches right to there. So I need to bring this out more. To about there. And then I can cut along there. All right, here I go. So right to here. There we go. So that should work. That should give me 8 feet by 3 feet 6 inches. So I can get that hung up. I'll try anyway. It won't be easy. It's kind of windy out. All right, back outside into the cold we go, and I'll get that plastic hung up. I've got the plastic up on the door now. Tomorrow I'll have to get some strapping and screw that up or nail it up and seal it kind of a little better. But that should help a lot, just even stapled in place. It was cloudy all morning, and just when the sun hits the plant room the best, the clouds disappeared and the sun came out. So that's good. That'll warm the plant room up for tonight. Yeah, I'll have to really concentrate next summer to get this plant room all finished and set up properly. Get the walls finished and, you know, fully sealed, insulated. It is time to head back inside now into the warmth. I'm inside now in the plant room, and the sun is hitting every part of the plant room. It's just fantastic. You can see the front table is all lit up. The side tables here, right to the back of the room, even down to the floor. The plants down there are getting sunlight on them. The table over here is all lit up. My chifleur is lit up. I don't have any plants on the top shelf here because they have to be pretty low to get light. They can't be any higher than about this high. I could put some small ones up there, I guess, some short ones, but generally that's kind of dark up there. So it's good to see another sunny day in the plant room. Make the plants so happy. I got a gift in the mail the other day. And in one of my previous videos, I was talking about mudmen and how I'd like to make some modern mudmen. You know, maybe someone photographing a tree or someone talking on a cell phone. I thought that'd be really cool. So, in the mail, I got some modern mudmen. I'll show you them. These 3D mudmen were printed by Adrian from Virginia in the United States, and he sent them to me in the mail. So they're photographers. There's two different scales. They still have the supports from the 3D printing on them, so I've got to remove those. So I'm going to try and do that today. All right, I've got my surgical instruments here. So let's see. So there's a support here that goes underneath the arm. I think I'll try and remove that one first. Sometimes they just break away really easily. Other times, the supports are a little more stubborn. Yeah, there's one breaking away. And there's one under his arm here. So I think I'll use the blade and cut it away. Like that. Like that, and then pull this out like that. It's coming along. There. Bit of flashing there. So there I go. There's the fellow, or the person, taking a picture. Maybe a little more clean up here. Yeah. Very nice. Now, so that was the larger one. Now I've got to remove the supports off the small one. That's going to be a little harder, I think. Maybe not. Oh, broke away okay. Cut under the arm here. Like that. Now, I'm getting it free. I just have to get it off this one leg here. And it's almost loose. There it comes. There's all the supports. And that came quite clean. Just a little clean up here. Again around there. And that is a good print. There he is shooting the root base
of my Ficus religiosa. Here's the photographer shooting the aerial roots of my Ficus benjamina. So there's my modern day mudmen. I'll have to paint them up. It'd be really fun doing some figure painting. Yeah, they look really awesome. Thanks very much, Adrian.
I did some major work to my pink Pixie Bougainvillea bonsai. I repotted it, I pruned it up, and I changed the front of the tree. Let's see what it looks like today.
So it recovered really nicely. It's leafing out. It's looking quite nice, I think. I'm always worried after doing, major work to a tree. Did I go too far? And, you do the work, you do what's required to make the tree look the best it can. And then you wonder, did I do too much? Will it recover? And usually it does. They say, a lot of times prune the roots till it kind of scares you. Prune the top of the tree till you're kind of scared, and that's just about right. And yeah, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But to get your tree to look really good, sometimes you got to take some pretty risky operations on them. If you play it safe all the time, sometimes you end up with a mediocre looking tree. So yeah, major changes to the pink Pixie Bougainvillea, but so far it's recovered and it's doing really well. So it's good to see.
That was an update on the pink Pixie Bougainvillea. I'll show you a few more updates here in the plant room.
My acacia trees had lost all their leaves, so I pruned them up. I removed all the dead wood, and now they're starting to come out into leaf, which is nice to see. Down here on the floor, my silk floss trees, I had them in the basement chilling out, and I thought, well, I better bring them up, start warming them up, and look at the growth on them. It's just exploded, which is good to see. The big one here is just starting, and look at those spikes on the trunk. Just awesome. Looks like a prehistoric bonsai. Yeah, really cool tree. I've also got my acacia here, my sweet thorn. It's coming out into leaf now. Behind it are my 2 wild almond trees. I had 3. I repotted them into this pot. I had 3 and 1 didn't make it, so the other 2 are doing really well though. So that's good to see. Up here is my guava tree. It is really growing well. Look at the bark that is just shedding off the trunk here. Just looks amazing. And up top, you can see all the green leaves on it. Looking really nice. Really healthy. Coming along nicely, that tree. I recently did some work on my Australian umbrella tree, or my large leaf Schefflera. I repotted it. I got all the roots growing down into these pots on the surface of the soil, and you can see it's leafing out once again. Looking good. Up on the shelf here I have my baobabs. So they're pretty well leafless, and they're just sitting up there. I don't water them at all in the winter. I just leave them dry out, and in spring it should leaf out once again. At the back here you can see my yucca forest. And it's getting really large and bushy. Last year I overwintered this in the basement, and it didn't grow at all in the winter, and then I put it out for the summer, and I was expecting it to just explode and take off, and it never really did. So I'm thinking it didn't really like the cool winter, even though it survived nicely. So this year I brought it up into the plant room where I'm keeping it warmer, and it's actually growing, so it's doing much better. It's looking much better. So I don't think I'll keep it in the basement in the winter anymore. I think it likes a little more warmth. So my plan was, once this is looking really vigorous, I want to chop it all back. It's getting too tall and that. So yeah, that'll be coming up. I don't know when. Whenever I'm feeling brave enough, I guess. It might be soon. I get really, really good light in the plant room here. Kind of January, late January, February. You can see the sun shines in these south-facing windows. So it gets sun all day. It's nice and warm and humid in here when the sun's shining. So I might get brave and do it this winter. It should recover in the plant room a bit here, and then I can put it outside in spring, and it should take off and grow for the summer. So yeah, it's going to be a dangerous operation. I've done it before on these yuccas. Hard prune them back, and sometimes you're successful, sometimes you're not. The trees always lived, but you don't always get branches where you expect them to grow. So, but it needs it. It's far too big now. So that'll be coming up whenever I'm feeling brave. Here's an update to my crown of thorns. I recently pruned it back quite hard, and you can see now it's all growing in again. All the branches have little buds at the tips. Yeah, so it's looking pretty good. Looks like it's recovering well. Yeah, cool tree. I really like it. I'll show you an update to my lithops now. The last time we had a look at these, a mouse had got into my poly greenhouse and pulled them all up. So I replanted them, and here's what they look like today. So they're looking really good, and they're really colorful. I never expected lithops to be this colorful. Now they do flower, and the flowers are really colorful on these. I don't know if I'll get flowers. Some of them are splitting open, which I think is the start of flowers, but I'm not sure. There's a whole bunch of different kinds in here, and they're all really cool. And they're just perfect for these small bonsai pots. You know, you don't have to worry about missing watering. Yeah, they're ideal for these little tiny pots, because this pot is really small. If you look at my finger here, it's like not much bigger than my finger. So really cool. And these were sent to me by Andrew, so thanks very much, Andrew. They're just wonderful. My spider has a new web again today. It catches a lot of insects in this web. Yes, it's a good location to spin a web right underneath a light like that. My 2 Christmas cactus still have some flowers on them, but they're starting to fade away now. They were beautiful. They lasted a long time. I really enjoyed seeing them every time I came in the plant room here. The days are still short this time of year. The sun will be setting soon. I'm glad I got that door kind of sealed up with the plastic. I hope that helps with the cold weather that will be coming this winter. And that's all for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.